it any longer. Hurry up.
Fluent and chill, yeah, we call it how it's played. From the field to the court, every legend gets weighed. 4 quarter heat or a 2-minute drill. If you can't handle the truth, better chill with the skill. LeBron and MJ, we break that smoke.
What the closest thing to perfection will that make you?
Stats don't lie, we just let them spill. This is real talk sports, welcome to Fluent and Chill. Fluent and chill, yeah, we call it how it's played. From the field to the court, every legend gets weighed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm just going to let that marinate for a minute.
Yeah. Back in effect.
Whoa.
Back in effect.
You know, I had to jump on a bunch of podcasts because it'd been a couple of weeks. We took off a couple of weeks, but you know, I jumped on Goat James Kingdom. I jumped on the panel. So I bounced around a little bit so people don't forget. Whew. I like that.
A little bit of a high.
Can we just? I like that shirt.
You feeling this, Todd? Yeah, my homeboy Tony Tone got this for me. Fluent and Chill. That's Fluent right there. That's my man Tony Tone. And for those if it's backwards, that's my man Tony Tone. Fluent.
It's backwards. I'm chill.
Yeah, and I'm chill. So my man hooked me up. So this is what we do around here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is dope. Definitely feeling it. So I feel like I gotta reintroduce myself because we ain't seen you guys in a while. You know, that's me and my man Tony Tone. We do this a Tuesday on both the Chilltown Hoops Network and the Sports Fluent Network, and we bring you pro basketball at its finest. I mean, they ain't getting it nowhere like they're getting it here. You're not getting it nowhere like you're getting it here. No,
I did get a message today that said y'all should be like FS1. Apparently, is what it used to be. They want us on ESPN. Now they want us on FS1. So I don't know, but you know, we allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Flu, and we already got a super chat, so let's hit up that right off the bat. G Cuts with the yes, y'all are back. Tuesdays are fun again. 100%, they're fun again. Now this week, I'm going to warn everybody. This week, next week, and the week after. That's 3 weeks in a row. We're starting a little bit later at 9 in the East, 6 in the West. I don't know, maybe a little bit of a condensed version, but we'll be back to our 8 p.m. time slot after those 3 weeks. Unfortunately, we've got baseball going on, and we gotta do what you gotta do.
Family stuff. Family stuff is what it is, no doubt. Family stuff is what it is.
So appreciate you, G Cuts, for the super chat.
Yes,
Lee Mack. We're not like those other shows where they let the super chats build up and then they read them if they have a chance at the end. No. We when I say you have a super chat, you become priority. Super chats are priority. Need some life advice. Okay. Just found out my ex of 5 years I broke up with has been cheating on me the last 2 months. Need some words of wisdom. Okay, so hold on. Need some just found out my ex of 5 years I broke up with. How can she be I broke up with has been cheating on me the last 2 months.
Yep.
So can you decipher what that means?
Well, essentially what's going on is she's the ex now, but for 2 months they was cheating on him. That's the problem.
Before he broke up with her?
Yes. His ex for 5 years, he found out she was cheating on him.
Oh, so here's that's easy advice. You already did the right thing, and now she's your ex. So now the next step is move on.
Or he is your ex.
Oh yeah, my bad. I don't. Yeah, my bad.
We don't discriminate around here.
Broke up. Some life advice. I found my ex of 5 years I broke up with has been cheating. Oh yeah, you're right. It's very.
It could be, or he was cheating on you. So I mean, okay, I've always stood on this. I've always stood on this, and
here you go.
I've always stood on this.
Right. It's he.
When you break up with somebody, whether it's their fault or your fault, you have to examine yourself. What did I do to contribute to this? And when you recognize what you did to contribute to it, you didn't contribute all of it. Let's be clear about that. There was some blame in other places too. You didn't contribute. But as long as you accept your role in some of this, maybe I wasn't listening enough. Maybe I wasn't small, whatever it is, I'm going to accept what my role was in this. I'm going to mourn. I'm going to do whatever I need to do. And then I'm going to step off. It's that. And I'm not saying it's simple. It's a process. It's 100% a process. But I can promise you, it gets better. It does not have to stay like that. It definitely gets better. And don't let this person screw it up for the next person in line. Don't do that. No, because the next person that you meet, it's not their fault that you.
Yeah. Don't put that baggage from the last relationship on the next. They ain't the same person. They ain't the same person.
Nope. Because the next person that you get with might be really good for you, but because you still holding on to what you had with this one, and the whatever it is that you had with them, and the grief that you have and the animosity that you have, you're gonna bring it to the other person. Nah, let that go, yo. Let it go.
My mother-in-law, and I'm gonna butcher what she says, but I'll give you the gist. Says something that kind of really sticks to you, right? She says, people come into your life to get you to the next phase of your life. And I was always like, I didn't get it. And then I was like, oh wait, I get it. Right? They're not everyone's gonna be there forever, but they're a piece of that to get you to that next phase. So they found out you were cheating, you're already the ex, right? So on to the next one. And you know what? And let me say, it's because you said something that I don't want to blow right past, because people forget to do this. A little self-reflection. What did I do? Because you ain't perfect. I ain't perfect. No. Well, I'm close, but nobody. Jay ain't perfect. Nobody's perfect. So, so I hope that you can, because listen, we say it like it's easy. It's not easy to get over, because especially when you find out someone was doing something like that, it's tough to deal with, because you immediately think, what did I do? Was I not this? Was I not that? But sometimes it's just the people. It's just the people. That's all.
Yep.
All right. So someone already said that that the title of today's show, let me find it, is crazy, yo. So let's deal with, because we're going to talk about all the things in the title, but we're going to get rid of the non-basketball stuff first. So the last piece of the title says, and did we really land on the moon? So
can we start there? Can we start there? Because my man is a big time conspiracy theorist. I'm a conspiracy theorist, but my man over here is a big time conspiracy theorist, and I'm having a difficult time with this.
I have a bunch of clips. And I'm not gonna. And I'm purposely, because today's condensed, I decided not to show them because we don't have as much time. But I did want to talk about it because it's in the title. So let me quickly say. I'm heading home. Hold on a second. I'm heading home now. Drop the link, and I can tell you, Fluent, how MJ scores 45 in today's game. We'll get to that. We'll get to that too. But hold on. So let me tell you about this, and just answer my questions, okay?
Yeah.
So they say that we landed on the moon
in 1969. That's correct.
In 1969.
Neil Armstrong was there.
At that time, there was a huge race, okay, to get to the moon between Russia and the U.S. and other countries, but typically it was the USSR and USA.
So this was a competition, Tone. This was
a competition, and just let's be clear: when it came to technology, the USA was losing that battle.
So
and then they're on the moon. Okay. Why haven't we gone back and landed on the moon since? Okay. So this is according to NASA. No joke. This is according to NASA. And for Fluent Junior, NASA, he'll get that. Okay. So one, there is and you're going to ask me what it's called. And so this I will pull up because I want to tell you what it's called. But there is a barrier around the Earth that is like super, super hot. And NASA will tell you that it is too hot for anything that we have. Here, hold on. Let me just.
We'll take my word for it. Take NASA's.
As we get further away from Earth, we'll pass through the Van Allen belt.
The Van Allen belt. There we go. The Van Allen belt, which is so hot that anything we send up there basically melts and disintegrates. Okay.
Dangerous.
And they said
radiation.
Dangerous radiation. Okay. And I said I wouldn't play these clips, so I won't, but I needed to remember what it was called. So Just now, they're saying we're getting materials that can pass through that Van Allen belt without melting.
Yep.
Okay. Just now in 2025.
Not in 2020, not in 2015.
No, just now in 2025.
Oh boy.
Also, they said that we don't have, they said, well, how come we haven't gone back to the moon? Why haven't we landed back on the moon? We don't have the technology. That's straight from NASA. You can look it up. NASA scientists have been quoted as saying, we don't have the technology. So the question is, how did we do it before? And I said, well, we had the technology and we lost it. They threw away the schematics and the plans, and we can't redo it. So you want me to believe that when we had a computer, I have more, just so you know, computing power in this phone than they had in a room filled with a computer back then in 1969. And you're telling me we can't recreate what we did in 1969 today with all this technology. But wait, there's more.
Oh boy.
They first of all, they tell you the Van Allen belt, we can't get through it. NASA says it. They tell you we don't have the materials that won't kind of get melted as they go through it. We don't have the technology to get back to the moon. Let me tell you this. Have you ever made a long distance call on a landline? I know this goes back a few years for some people with cell phones, but you ever made
used to do it all the time.
All right. Was there ever a delay in communicating?
Sometimes.
Yeah, you know why? Because you've got to be talking on the phone and there's a delay because it has to get transferred through through these huge satellites on Earth. Just go from Earth to Earth. So just to go around our planet, there was a delay. How did Richard Nixon put up the phone and call the moon with absolutely no delay and talk live to the people on the moon? There was no satellites on the moon to send that signal back.
I'm thinking, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking
they had no cell phone.
Maybe they weren't on the moon. Is the idea? Maybe they weren't on the moon. However, hold on.
There's more.
There's even
what Neil Armstrong's bottom of his boot. You look at the pattern on his boot. You look at the first step on the moon. How come the pattern on the moon is straight lines this way and his pattern on the boot is circles? Not even close to being the same.
Oh, did we get tricked? Is what you're trying to tell us, Tom?
Wait, there's more. Then, and that's why I want to show you this. So maybe I'll save more of it for next week. Then they have clips of the guys being in space, and you can see the wires. Everything they're telling you, and there's more. There's like 10 other things, but I don't want to take up too much time, and I feel like I already have. There's so many things that tell you they launched. Remember they launched that rocket off the moon and off to space. Have you ever noticed it goes straight up like it's being pulled up by strings, and there's no indentation on the ground, like there's no propulsion system. It just went. How did that happen?
I don't know, Tone. To be honest with you, I wish I could tell you how that happened, but I don't know. Now, here's the thing, Tone, that I'm trying to make sense of. I understand that there's a lot of conspiracy.
I believe Wilt's 100 more than we landed on the moon.
You already know how I don't think Bin Laden is dead. So I'm one of those people. Yeah, I don't think Osama Bin Laden is dead. That's just me. But because I know how the government can be very tricky. To say that man never landed on the moon, but then NASA has a whole program, right? They don't have something that's just set aside. They have an entire program for men going into space.
No, they're spending their money going into the sea now.
Okay, so let me rephrase that, Tone. There was a time when man was going into space. That was going on, right? They had the Challenger, which blew up. That was awful. It was on live television. Yeah. It was one of the most horrific things I'd ever seen. With that being said, why would they lie to us about this? I understand
that was easy. It was to beat Russia. They were in a Cold War with Russia, and if Russia got to the moon first, it's over. We'd all be speaking Russian right now.
Cold War was already over at that point.
No, in '69.
Yeah, we were still in Vietnam. We were dealing with that right there. The Cold War was over. The Cold War was a thing of the past. The Cold War was in the 50s. We was over that.
The Cold War happened until the wall went down. Okay.
In Berlin, sure.
Okay. That was still like, don't just because they said, oh, we're safe. Bull crap. As long as Gorbachev was in charge until 80, whatever. No, it was still far from. And listen, let me give you one more. Let me give you one more. They said they planted 5 flags on the moon, right?
Yep.
Okay. Why don't they, with these super telescopes that can see Venus and Saturn, why don't they point it at the moon and show us one of the flags?
The reason why is because they're not there anymore, because they probably disintegrated in the atmosphere. That's why. Because the moon is 240. I want to say 240,000 miles away from Earth. So with the moon being 240,000 miles away from Earth, there's a reason why we wear those things over the top of us. Astronauts do, because one, I can't breathe up there. So the flags and whatever material that is, it disintegrated. So it's not there anymore. That's why.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
There you have it.
We did not land on the moon, and like I said, if we did, we'd have a. Why don't we have a moon? Why don't we have a space station? Why don't we have a space station so we can propel from the moon to the next place that we want to go check out? How can we see galaxies? Hold on. How can we see galaxies far, far away? We can't see what's on the moon.
But we can't see what's on the moon, Tone. Again,
no, you can't.
This is ridiculous. Okay, so here's the thing I'm thinking. If you have a program, which we've actually seen this program, we've seen astronauts, Neil Armstrong, right? We've seen astronauts who've trained for this program. We've seen the space station. Not only have we seen the space station, we've also seen equipment. What are you guys doing with all this equipment? Pools and building spaceships and all of this stuff to penetrate the atmosphere, which you were just talking about. If you have all of this stuff, what are you building all of this stuff for? For man to go into space. And that actually happened. Man did go into space. Now, for man to go to the moon and to stage that from 1969, which was almost 60 years ago, Tone, if that were to happen, it's very much like Jordan, and I bring up Jordan, this specific example, because we are in a space now where we're way more educated. So if in 1993, if David Stern decides I'm going to suspend Michael Jordan because we're going to keep this quiet, even though I'm the ultimate capitalist, 30 years later, we are going to find out that he did that. So 60 years later, if man did not land on the moon and they staged this, we're going to find out how they staged it. We're going to find out where they staged it. We're going to get all of these people.
Stuff. We know the sound stage. We know the name of the director, and his name escapes me right now, who did this. They admitted to having a sound stage and doing this as a test run.
So they've admitted to this. So if that's true, Tone, you being the inquisitive mind that you are, and you're in a competition, Russia is a lot smarter than we are at this point. So if Russia's a lot smarter than we are, and they know it's some bullshit. By
the time it was figured out, it was so far removed that it was too late. It was too late. It was too late to say, oh, we lied. Because let's be honest, Russia was lying too. Russia wasn't out of the Van Armpit, whatever the hell it's called. They didn't go. That we basically can only get to we can't even exit. Like we get to the top of our orbit. NASA even accidentally, one of the guys said we've never gone past that Van Allen that orbit. We haven't gone any further out than that. We can't. NASA said it.
Okay, so if
what they're trying to do is say that happened. We can't do it anymore. So now we're starting over. And here's the best part: they're telling you what's in the middle. You know, here the middle of the Earth has the core of the Earth is this. Mm-hmm. We've gone like 19,000 feet deep into the water is the max we've ever gone. How the hell do we know what's under there?
That's pretty deep.
You don't know anything up there. They don't know anything down there. They've got there's so many things that are wrong. It's crazy. So many things that are wrong.
I'm just thinking, if I'm in competition,
I want you to know, Flat Earth Dave does a whole thing on why we didn't land on the moon. I might have to invite him. on
I'm
the
good
show.
on Flat Earth Dave. I seen Flat Earth Dave. I'm good. I seen Flat Earth Dave get roasted. What I'm saying, Otone, is if I'm in competition with somebody, and if I'm in competition with somebody to do something, and they say that they've already done it, you got to prove to me that you did it. And to your point, even if it is years later, and we're just gonna let this go. No, I got cheated. You didn't do this. So I'm going to expose that you didn't do this. So Russia, being as smart as Russia is, and Russia having the technology, which, by the way, we were behind in 1969. If they had that technology, they are also smart enough to know this was a ruse. We definitely got the wool pulled over our eyes. So if that's true, why haven't they lifted up the curtain on this already? And the reason why they haven't lifted up the curtain on this, because that didn't happen. We did go to the moon, Tone. It happened.
Next week, I'm gonna because all the clips are really long because they go into these whole I'm gonna clip them all together. I'm gonna take the time. I'm gonna clip them all together so that it's less than 4 minutes, and I'm gonna show you all the pieces because I have 20 pieces of evidence that NASA agrees with. Okay, this one alone, the fact that it said we can't go to the moon,
right?
We can't today. We don't have the technology today to go to the moon.
In 2025, Tom.
In 2025, NASA people, the heads of NASA will tell you we cannot go to the moon.
Meanwhile, we've built technology to.
They will openly admit. So if you're telling me that alone tells me if we can't go today, then we couldn't go in 69. There's no chance we went in 69. We didn't have cell phones. We barely had satellites. There was a computer, like I said, was the size of your house. And you have more computing power in your phone today, and you're telling me we can't get back?
So how do we get how do we get those drones onto Mars, Tone? Which is
fake.
Even further than the moon.
That's fake. I can show.
That's fake too.
Oh yeah, I can show. There's a place, I forget where it is, but where they have there's the red sands, and they show you the exact picture that they show you from Mars, and then they show you it on Earth, and they go, watch this. When I change the tint, it's exactly the same. And they've got and you can go see they've got equipment on there that says NASA on it. It's all a lie. It's a lie. And your question is why the lie? And in most of the time with these conspiracies, the question is, I always ask myself too, is well, why? Why would they lie? Why would the Earth be flat and they're lying? Right. I can't answer that one. That's why I struggle. With the moon, well, I know why they needed to beat Russia to the moon. There's a financial and a world power reason.
And what we've done throughout the course of history is we've exposed frauds. If you perpetrate, yes, we have 100%. You've seen what happened. You've seen what happened to the cyclist dude, right? You've seen what happened to Ben Johnson. You've seen what if we were perpetrating a fraud for you to get to the moon.
Hold on. That's a great example. His name was Armstrong. By the way, Lance Armstrong. Okay. Lance Armstrong. Okay. So you said we caught him, right? Everybody on the Tour de France was doping. There's a reason you only caught him. Ben Johnson. Everybody in that 100-meter dash was caught cheating. He's the only one that was exposed.
And we knew about all of them too. Here's the difference, though, Tom. No. Here's the difference. We knew about them dudes, but the difference is who do we take down? Do we take down? Do we take down Lynn? Do we take down Christie? No, we don't take him down because he is not a big deal.
Why don't we take Carl Lewis?
Right. So let's because
instead we gave him the gold for the long jump and the 100-meter, even though he was juicing.
Here's the difference. The difference is that we actually did catch him, only to find out that the stuff that he was taking, it was on the list, but then it wasn't on the list.
Oh, well, yes. Isn't that convenient?
Yes, the stuff that he was taking. So we did catch him. The point that I'm making is if this
so we went to the moon, but we didn't actually go to the moon.
Well, no. What I'm saying is that if we didn't go, Russia being in competition and being as competitive as they are, being ridiculously competitive as they are, if America perpetrated a fraud, they would have definitely lifted up the curtain on this. They didn't do this, and here's how we know that they didn't do this. So it
was 30 years later, actually 40 years later. No, they don't care. They don't care. They've moved on to 20 other things, and the Soviet Union has collapsed. So guess what? Maybe a lot of these, hey, we're invading the Ukraine, leave us alone. okay, or we'll tell people they didn't go to the moon. Yeah, it could happen. It could happen. I'm just saying.
I'm buying it, Tone.
Speaking of frauds, we're going to start in the NFL, and then we're going to go to NBA frauds, and then we're going to talk about the biggest fraud, Chris Paul, and some European players. We're going to talk about all these. This whole episode is about frauds. So here are the NFL power rankings. And I want to get your take on. Oh, hold on one second first. I don't know what Alistair, Crowley, Hubbard, Parsons work together.
I'm guessing that these are NASA people.
These are the NASA people.
I'm guessing that these are the NASA people.
So Joe Jett understands that this is a real fraudulent conspiracy. We will look up their names and we will put an end to this nonsense. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, back to the NFL. All right, so I'm going to run down the list quickly, starting at number 1 with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yep.
The Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, the Lions, the Packers, Commanders, Bucks, Broncos, Texans. I'm going to stop there.
Okay.
Who are the frauds in this top 10?
I don't believe in Detroit at all. I've never really believed in them. I won't ever believe in them. I dig St. Brown as a receiver. I think he's one of the, even though he's small, he's one of the better wide receivers in the game. I got a bit of a soft spot for the Packers because Jordan Love went to Utah State. So I got a bit of a soft spot for him, but I'm not sure that this Micah Parsons thing is going to work out. I do like him. I think he's arguably the best pass rusher in the game, considering what Watt is doing in Pittsburgh. I think he's arguably the best pass rusher in the game. I'm not really sure about that yet. With the Commanders, I think their quarterback situation has showed up, but what I found out when you're dealing with first-year quarterbacks, once we start rolling the film on you, Tone, and we start figuring you out, these guys don't look as good as they did when you first seen them. So I would not be surprised if I saw a down year from the Commanders this year, even though they ended up paying McLaughlin, no doubt. And their defense is a little shaky. I'm not sold on
McLaurin.
Denver.
You meant paid McLaurin, right?
Yeah, they paid McLaurin. That's what I'm talking about. Their wide receiver McLaurin. I'm not sold on Denver. I am sold on the Texans.
You're saying this whole top 10 is frauds.
No. I am sold. I am sold on the Texans. I am sold on the Texans. I know how you feel about butter. I do know how you feel about butter, but I think I'm going to see something different from the Bucs this year. I do. So Detroit, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it in Detroit. I don't think the Chiefs are going to be as good this year as they've been in the past. Neither, Tone. I don't. I do not think that they're going to be as good as they were in the past.
I will say my biggest question mark. My biggest question mark, I'll agree with you, is the Lions losing offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. I think we're going to see, because a lot of times people don't give enough credit to what the offensive coordinator does. They kind of, they look at the head coach and they're like, well, the head coach is still there, so it's fine, thinking the head coach does everything. But in football, more than any other sport, and it's actually interesting because I'm doing it this year with my youth team. But also I feel like I'm really surprised that basketball teams haven't gone this way, where they have the head coach, and I know some have, but I mean more. They have the head coach, an offensive guru, and a defensive guru. And
I thought they were moving that way, Tone. When
they started to, but I thought everyone would do it. Where like you have a guy like Tibbs, let's say, for example.
That's what I thought they were moving that way.
And Tibbs, if he's ever at the point where he's like, I don't necessarily want to be a head coach anymore, but okay, I'm going to bring you in and you're going to do my defense, and whoever's going to do my offense, and I'm just going to do kind of oversee everything. I'm really surprised in this day and age in 2025, 75. Now this will be 76 years of the NBA, that they haven't said, hey, you know what? Like, let's do that. So I thought they were going that way too, and then they didn't. And Tibbs, I just thought of a defensive-minded coach, but like an Adrian Griffin, right? Who kind of had a head coaching job, yanked the rug out from under him, but a great coach. Hey, I want you to, you're going to work with my team on defense. That's what you're going to do. And I, like I said, in youth ball, I'm going to say, like, I have an assistant coach. I'm going to, hey, I want you to work on them on their offense. I'm going to work on them because, on their defense and just really focus. So the Lions are the ones that scare me. I can never say anything about the Packers, so I'm going to just skip them. I'm with you on Jaden Daniels. Second year kind of quarterback who had, him. He's the one that makes it. Yeah, Bo Nix. Like, to have Denver at 9. Okay, if I got to pick one, Denver's going to be the frauds. I think Denver's going to be the frauds that are not going to be in the top 10. I got to pick one, so I'm going to go with
after
Denver.
what you did. After what you did,
Denver, I know you like Denver, but
no, up. Because here's the thing, though, Tone. Because after what you did last season, when you sat up here on that microphone, Jay, the Philadelphia 76ers are going to be whack. And I was like, Tone, you are absolutely out of your mind. So I got to start listening to you more. When you tell me that, okay, I think this team's going to be whack. As much as I like Denver, because as anybody knows me,
always had a little thing with them.
I've been having an affair with the Denver Broncos over the last like 25 years. That's been going on. But I wasn't really that sold on Bo Nix coming out of college. I wasn't. I thought that his reads was slow. I thought that his delivery definitely needed some work. I wasn't sold on him as an athlete. I think he's a good athlete, and I think he runs really good, but I wasn't sold on him as an athlete. So we'll see. We'll see what this looks like with them. But I'm more worried about the Commanders and that quarterback situation, because and I've seen it time and time again, Tone. Once teams do their homework on these first-year quarterbacks, I've seen these guys go the other way.
Yep,
I've seen it.
Yep.
That doesn't mean that Jaden. That doesn't mean that Jaden is whack.
It doesn't mean he's not great, but they did have a lot of. Ask my Bears. They did have a lot of incredible, like, come from behind, miraculous kind of play wins too. Yes. If even if half of those kind of turn the other way, that changes, right? With only having 17 games, that takes you from a playoff team to a non-playoff team. So it's tough. All right, the next 10: Rams, Vikings, Bengals, Niners, Chargers, Steelers, Bears, Seattle, Arizona, and New England.
I'm out on Aaron Rodgers. I'm out. The way I feel, and you said it to me last year when we talked about Philly. I'm out on the 76ers because of Joel Embiid. They got a 40-year-old starting quarterback. I've seen do not let what Tom Brady showed you after 40 years old fool you. That's the anomaly. That's the exception. The majority of quarterbacks at age 40 years old and older are garbage. I'm not saying that they're not good. They are trash. Drew Brees was not very good after 40 years old. Brett Favre was not very good at that age. And if you think that you're gonna sell me that Aaron Rodgers at 40 years old, who looks older when I watching him run in practice, now he's getting in a new system with that, and not only is he getting in a new system, he's actually got a really good wide receiver. But with that being said, he's over the hill. So I'm out on Pittsburgh. I can appreciate how good of a coach they have and the fact that they always find themselves in the playoffs, but I'm out on Aaron Rodgers. This is going to be the year that Aaron Rodgers is going to break the streak. The Steelers is not making the playoffs.
Well, they can miss the playoffs, but will they still be 500?
No, coach is not having a winning
record. It'll be below 500
because it's going to be because of Aaron Rodgers. Yes, it's going to be because of Aaron Rodgers. I'm out. I'm out on Aaron Rodgers, Tone. Nope.
I'm trying to look at a team that's not going to be that's in the 11 to 20. That's not going to be in the 11 to 20 range. That's how I'm looking at this from a who's a fraud standpoint. And
Pittsburgh is a fraud, though.
and there's a team that will forever just do what they do. And the thing is, will they be how it was 7?
And you've also seen the Patriots quarterback situation also. I mean, with Drake.
Well, that's the easy one. That's basically them moving from 20 to 21, and they're out of the top 20. So I'm looking at, even if we might be in the top 20, who's going to take the biggest drop from where they're ranked today?
I think it's Pittsburgh.
I'm trying to find someone else because I want to argue with you. But
the Chargers are good. The Chargers are going to be a lot better than I give them credit for. Oh, Minnesota's going to be garbage too. I'm not buying Minnesota.
You don't like that rookie quarterback because that was going to be my second. I didn't take Justin Jefferson in fantasy because I'm nervous about if he's going to be able to give me anything.
He's going to be pulling his hair out.
I'll do that. I'll take one from the NFC, the North Division. I'm going to go the Vikings. Tumble out of the top 20. All right.
Yes, they do.
Next 10. Actually, we'll do just the rest. Cowboys, Falcons, Colts, Raiders, Jets, Panthers, Titans, Jags, Dolphins, Giants, Browns, and Saints. They have the Saints last.
Tone, they might not win a game this year. Have you seen it? Have you seen them, Tone? The Saints might not win a game this year. They're going to be garbage. They're going to be trash, Tone. And when I say garbage, I mean like Cleveland 0-16 bad. They're going to be that bad. They're going to be, I think they go back to the Aints. And on top of them, Jerry Jones is one of the best businessmen that I've ever laid eyes on. One of the best businessmen that I've ever laid eyes on. No question about that. I think the Cowboys are going to be garbage this year. So I do. I think
you hate the Cowboys, so it's
not. I hate no. I hate Cowboy fans. There's a difference. I don't hate the Cowboys. I don't like the Cowboys. I can't stand Cowboy fans. That's my issue. And I think the Cowboys are going to be garbage. I'm not buying the Cowboys at all. At all.
I think I'll be honest with you. I think we're going to have such a down year in the NFL. I think all of those teams are going to be garbage. With addition to the ones we already mentioned, I think all of them are going to be trash. Maybe the Falcons will be okay.
I think the Titans are going to be better than you give them credit for.
The Jets will be the biggest surprise.
I think it's going to be Tennessee.
The Jets will be the biggest surprise.
Why the Jets, Tone?
Because of their quarterback. I think you're going to see the full potential of Justin Fields. Because what happens is when you leave the Bears, you remember how to become a quarterback. And don't forget how he started out for Pittsburgh. He never should have lost his starting job to Old Man Wilson.
He should have never. They should have stuck with him.
Never. I tell you right now, the Jets are going to surprise. Greeny, you're going to be excited. I'm going to send you this clip. The Jets are going to surprise a bunch of people.
Over undertone 10 wins with the Jets.
11.
11 because this is a down year, like you said in the NFL.
10-7, 11, but 11-6.
10 wins get you in the playoffs.
Yeah, they'll make the playoffs this year.
Greeny's gonna love that. Yes, he is.
Yeah, I'll send that to him. But you might see the Giants, the Browns, and the Saints all flirting with 0-4-17 records.
Garbage. The Saints are gonna be so bad.
We
always talk about
the Browns are the worst run organization in all of sports. The Browns stink. Somebody. The worst organization in all of sports.
Are they worse than what's going on in New Orleans?
The Browns are the worst run organization in all of sports. Period.
Okay.
And full stop. Full stop. Full stop. Just think about it. When they have good years, it's still bad.
Even when it's good, it's bad.
Even when it's good, it's bad. In fact, I might stop with the butter nonsense because it might just been because he was in Cleveland.
I think that's
he might have just had the curse.
I think that's absolutely what it was because
they're the Charlotte Hornets of the past 2 decades of the NFL. At least the Hornets had some success in the 90s.
When's the last time Cleveland been to the playoffs? I don't remember the last time Cleveland was in the playoffs. I don't.
Jim Brown?
I don't remember the last time Cleveland was in the playoffs.
Jim Brown.
Hey, I ain't talking about 87
when the last time the Cleveland Browns made the playoffs.
When was the last time they made the playoffs?
Since resuming operations, the Browns have made the playoffs only 3 times as a wild card team in 2002, 2020, and 2023. This is from Wikipedia.
Okay.
There you go. 20 and 23 and 2002. But that's the only time in all of the years since they've been back. Damn. They're garbage. Hot garbage. And it's probably lucky anyways. All right. So that's not to say that's all the football talk, but I do because we did get I do want to get your opinion on this because I know you don't play fantasy football.
I'm not a fantasy football. That's why.
However, you know football. So 12-player league. He's got Butter as his QB, Jahmyr Gibbs and Tracy Jr. as his running backs, Harrison Jr. and Higgins, and Jacoby Myers as his running back, Ingram at tight end, Coleman. Keon Coleman's going to have a breakout year. So that's a great pick as his flex. That's a guy up in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Assuming Geno's, I don't know if that's his backup quarterback or is that his kicker? I don't know. I would say, well, I want to know where you picked. But I would say you need. You're gonna be middle of the pack, my guy. I think
Harrison Jr. I think Marvin's gonna have a.
I think he's good. I think he's good at wide receiver. If you got Harrison Higgins, I think you're good. My issue is with Tracy Jr. In New York. They're gonna lose a lot, and when you lose a lot, you don't run the ball a lot, right? Because you're gonna be trailing, and so. And again, also, are you in a PPR league, right? If you're in a PPR league, you'll do better. If you're in a traditional scoring league, not so much because you're relying heavily on your strength is at wide receiver, which you know. Let's see if he got Gibbs. Yeah. So there you go.
And as much as you tell me, Tone, about how much I hate the Cowboys, there's not much more pleasure I get in football than watching the Giants lose. I can't stand the Giants. And
you were on the Giants for a minute. You were trying to sell me on them fools.
I was trying to sell you Danny Dimes. I was trying to sell you Danny Dimes, who's now the starting quarterback in Indianapolis, which again goes back to my original logic.
Disaster.
So it is a disaster, Tone, because what you're doing is you're in a league where more young quarterbacks get screwed up. This kid Anthony in
Richardson,
Indianapolis. Yeah. This kid Richardson in Indianapolis, Tony, he was a project, and that's how they should have treated him. Instead, they threw him in the lineup. He wasn't ready. He got hurt.
Yeah.
And then they tried to throw him back in the lineup instead of developing him as a quarterback. I can promise you, Indianapolis is a football town. If you guys would have said, all right, we're going with Flacco, or not just Flacco, we're going with an older guy to show Richardson how to be a quarterback in 2-3 years. Once he developed into that, I promise you, Tone, they would have stuck with him. I promise you that. They 100% would have stuck with him.
We're moving to basketball, but not the NBA.
They don't care about player safety. It's like they don't care about scheduling or whatever. And I mean, I only mentioned that one time in the beginning of the season.
They don't care about safety. You play 40 games.
That's it.
40. You had to play it back-to-back. Oh, boo freaking hoot. You want to know, I've defended, you can attest this, I've defended the WNBA more than anybody.
Yes, you have.
I told you why they deserve, not owed, why they deserve to get a fair deal so that they get the proper piece of the revenue. I've told you that the game is, from a technical standpoint, good to watch in terms of learning some fundamentals. Not every player. Of course, there's bad players. There's bad players in everything. I've given all the reasons why the money, when people say, oh, they got subsidized. And then when I bring up that the NBA was subsidized, they go, oh, but. When you say stupid stuff like this, you are sabotaging yourselves because you can't get the support of the fans that you need by saying stupid stuff like they don't care about us when you're playing back-to-back games and every single person plays back-to-back games.
Tone, you do realize that this season, you know how many back-to-backs Phoenix has had?
I have no one.
How about 0? They have never played back-to-back games.
Are you serious?
They have not. They have not played one back-to-back game this entire season. Not one. I'm sorry, that's not true. They played Connecticut and then they played the Liberty back-to-back. They did that. Connecticut and the Liberty. They did do that. But I'm looking at their schedule, Tone. The 14th, the 16th, 23rd. That's 7 days since you played. You played the 16th, then the 23rd. Then you go on this East Coast road trip. You play the Liberty on Friday. Then you play on Sunday. Then you don't play again until Wednesday. Then you play again Friday. Then you play Sunday. Then you play Tuesday. Then you play Thursday. Then you play Sunday. Then you play Friday the next week. Then you play Sunday. Then you play Tuesday. Then you play Thursday. And then you play Friday. Okay, that's 2. 2. Then you play Tuesday. Then you play Thursday. Then you play Saturday. Tone, I'm looking at their schedule. They've played 2 back-to-backs all season. Give me a break, man. These people, what they want to do is because of where we live today, and this is the generation that we live in, you want to get more by doing less. And I watched for years in the NBA where they were flying commercial and they were playing back-to-back games. They were doing that. And yes, they weren't making nearly as much money. You guys played half that season. You played 2 back-to-backs all year long. 2 of them. That's it. 2 back-to-backs in a 40 game season. You've had times where you've had a split with 5 days off, where you didn't play for 5 days, 7 days where you didn't play. But you really talking about they don't care about player safety? Tony, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm sorry that I'm ranting about this, but I'm tired of listening to this generation bitch and complain about what they don't have, and they're trying to get more without doing more. Tony, they fly private. That's what they're doing. They fly private. And you staying in the nicest places too, by the way. You ain't staying in the Super 8, right? You ain't staying in the Holiday Inn. You staying in the nicest places. You get on buses. You have trainers. You have all of that stuff. The player safety stuff.
There's a reason why $200 million. There's a reason why $200 million in revenue turned into a $50 million loss. They're taking care of you. They're taking care of you.
100% are taking care of you guys.
Speaking of frauds, this is via request.
They called him the chosen one. He carried the weight of every expectation on his shoulders. But he never broke. We were all witnesses. Every rival was defeated. Every idol was destroyed. He took the crown and kept it. Behold the greatness. He is the forever king.
I know.
Well, that's not true because he never beat Dirk. So
it sounds a little, well, it's a commercial, so it's a bit of an exaggeration, but I just want to 100%. He never stumbled. There's no one he didn't defeat.
Tone, can you define breaking? Like, define breaking? Because I heard Kevin Garnett say that they broke him. So define breaking, Tone.
Like, breaking is what your video just did. You froze.
Mm-hmm.
I would say 2011 is breaking.
I say 2011 is bending because he could have quit. He could have segued into just being.
Oh, okay, then 2010 was breaking.
And again, I don't think he broke.
He quit.
Did he quit? Because quitting is, here's the difference.
It's failing and giving up on something and moving on. That's what he did. He gave up on his hometown and he moved on.
Well,
by definition, like if you want to talk definition of quitting, that's what he did. Quitting is a negative in regards to failing. A lot of people want to put, and I don't want to try and make this a GOAT debate. However, a lot of people, well, Jordan quit in '93. No, you don't quit when you're succeeding. You quit when you fail.
I 100% think Jordan quit his job.
So Cleveland broke him. He quit. And listen, I don't think there's anyone that would have stayed. Again, I've told you this before. I don't blame him for leaving, but he quit.
So quit, the Webster's dictionary term for quit is leave a place, usually permanently.
I keep going.
Did come back,
but based on failing.
Yeah.
Keep reading.
I'm just looking at what it says here. Okay, so the Webster's dictionary. So again, to give up, to depart from or out of, to leave the company, to set free, to give up employment, to cease normal, expected, or necessary action, to admit defeat.
There it is. Agony of defeat.
Yes, sir.
So if you're winning, you're not quitting. I'm going out on top. There's actually no quit in that. But when you fail multiple times, right? And so again, I know I'm going to get the hate from the LeBron fans, but in reality,
LeBron James,
you had home court advantage. You were the favorite to win 2 years in a row with the best record in the NBA 2 years in a row. You failed. Now, did your company fail you? I say 100%. I say 100% his company failed him. And so he quit and his talents to South Beach. Again, don't blame him for that. But, and then he did it again. Why? Because when he lost to the Spurs in 2014 and he saw that Dwayne Wade's knees were getting wonky, Chris Bosh was getting some of them Jamaican blood clots, he opted out of a 6-year deal that he signed. Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6. And he opted out after 4 years and left again. Also quitting after a defeat. Give me another player that quit after a defeat, because that's the definition of quitting.
A bunch of players who quit after defeats. I mean, Elgin Baylor quit in 1969 after the.
Well, yeah, of course. After 8 finals losses, I'd quit.
Yes, there's plenty of guys who quit. I mean, Jabbar, he quit, and Jabbar quit because he couldn't play anymore.
That's not quitting. That's not. If you can still play, that's not quitting.
Right. So after defeat, I mean, there's guys who've retired. Sure, that's going on, but I mean, I just think that when I think about the word quit, when I think about the word quit as opposed to moving on, like did he give up on Cleveland? Yes. I definitely think he gave up on Cleveland. Yes, I definitely think he gave up on them.
He also gave up on Miami.
But see, here's the thing, though, Tone. I don't think he ever wanted to leave Cleveland. I don't. That's why he went back. So you're telling me, hold on, you're telling me, in all honesty, you're telling me if Dwayne Wade was still Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh was still Chris Bosh, he would have opted out of that 6-year deal after 4? If they would have beaten San Antonio, he would have stayed. I think so. I do. But here's the difference. The difference is that I've actually heard him say when he was in Cleveland, when he was in Miami, playing in Miami, he would go back to Cleveland in the summer, and he said he envisioned the parade in Cleveland.
100%.
He's in Miami envisioning them. So I still think his heart was in Cleveland, and I don't think he ever wanted to lose there.
Of course, his heart will always be at home. But then again, he also said, "I'm never leaving here." And what happened?
He ended up leaving, and he went to Los Angeles. Is that quitting or moving on? Because those two things aren't the same, Tone.
I think, again, he realized why he quit on them in the first place is that because you're not going to get what you need to win in Cleveland. Whether it's free agents don't want to go.
That's what it is more than anything.
What's that?
I think that's what it was more than anything. The second time, Tone, what you just said, free agents don't want to go there.
Don't want to go there.
I think Cleveland did everything that they possibly could to get him everything he needed in order for them to win.
Hold on a second. I want to deal with this real quick. Anyone who says Jordan ducked and quit because of Hakeem is a moron. Okay, so sorry, Zol, you're a moron, and here's why you're a moron. Because how many times did Hakeem make it to the finals other than year 2 or 3 when he had Ralph Sampson? And the answer is 0. Why didn't he get there in 91 when the Bulls made it to the finals? Oh, they didn't make the playoffs. What about 92? Oh, because they lost in the first round. There was absolutely nothing to whatever, the other way around. Thank you. There's absolutely nothing that would make anyone think who knew anything about basketball that Hakeem Olajuwon and the Rockets with that team in 94, that's why it was so impressive, was going to make it to the NBA final in the summer or in September when he stepped away from the game after his father's death. So anyone who says that is a moron and shouldn't talk basketball. So that's the last 1 second you're going to get of attention. Oh, speaking of morons, I showed this a little bit, and then we're going to get back to our speaking of frauds. Actually, no, this is actually along the same lines. You have a good friend of yours, Jay.
Yep.
His name is. Do you remember your good friend? His name is Mike.
What about him?
He's your good friend, Mike.
He's not my friend. No, sir.
He's not your friend. Okay.
I know of him. Yes.
You know of him? Okay. So I wanted. Speaking of, we're gonna expose all the frauds today. So speaking of frauds, so check this out. Mm-hmm. Here is your good friend. Okay, and I want to read this to you. So there's no. On April 17th, April 17th, 2025. He challenged me to a debate months prior to that, and this went on for months and months and months. But on April 17th, he said, I will let you know next week what days and times work for me, and then you can decide if they work for you as well. As of right now, I don't know my exact schedule for the future. So am I clear? Are we clear? And he's going to get back to me next week to set up a date and time for our debate.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay. August 25th. That's May, June, July, August, and a week. 4 months and a week later. Stop ducking the heat. Let me know the day and time. I ain't one of these casuals you be getting over with on TikTok. I'm the real deal. Stop ducking. Who does it sound like was ducking?
Him.
The damn fraud. Get the hell out of here. We done with the frauds. All right, next one up. Next one up. Fraud alert. I don't even have a button. I need a fraud alert button. What do we got next? Oh boy. Oh, okay. Well, speaking, oh yeah, we'll save Chris Paul to the end. Luka dominating Euro basketball. 4 games, 31.3, 7.3 rebounds, 8.3 assists, 3.3 steals. How important is playing international basketball in the offseason?
I think it's, to be honest with you, I think it's really important, Tone, off the strength that I've seen guys who come from the Olympics, come from the FIBA World Championships, and they take that and it translates into the NBA game, and they're really productive. And I feel like this is a year for Luka, considering how he got traded. In addition to him getting traded, all the talk about him. He's fat. He's out of shape. He doesn't really care about the game. He's smoking hookah. Luka got himself in better shape. He's obviously getting busy in the Eurobasket tournament. I think that this is a testament for him to get himself back into shape and get his mind right. So when we see him throughout the course of the season, he's going to show that I'm the guy that you thought I was from the beginning, and Dallas was wrong about me. And him playing against the competition that he plays against in the Eurobasket tournament, I think it's going to help him. 100% it's going to help him.
I'm nervous.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're talking about in general about playing in the offseason, I think your body needs rest. But obviously you want to stay and do. I think you need to use the offseason to work on things in your game, right? Get better at certain things that are weaknesses, try to turn them into, I don't necessarily say strengths. I know that's pretty cliche, but turn them into, not as big of a weaknesses. And that's important. But I think the playing in these Euro leagues and stuff is more about, their pride in their hometowns and where they're from and kind of playing where they live and that sort of thing. And that's cool. I appreciate that. But I think with a guy like Luka who's working on his fitness and getting in shape, I think he's trying to send a message, right, to Dallas, to your point. Like you said I was fat, you said I was lazy, you said, all these other things. And I feel like I'm scared that he comes in. One, I'm always scared of injuries when they're playing, but again, that could happen in the NBA. But I'm scared that he's going to peak too early. So he's going to come into the season. Yeah, he's going to come into the season on a high, and it's a lot of basketball. Mm-hmm. And everyone's, they love playing basketball. Yeah, but when you're playing at that high of a level, it's just not sustainable, right? Like that's why the season, couldn't be. People are already talking about, the season's too long. We need to, reduce the how many games we play, and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, if he comes in on a high, which he's gonna, from what he's done, he comes in on a high. He peaks by the All-Star break. And then it's like when we need you the most in that tail end, the last 30 games after the All-Star game and into the playoffs, that's a lot. It's a lot to ask.
Oh, it is. That is
right?
a lot. But
okay, yeah, go ahead.
Here's the difference, though, Tone. The difference is that he has gotten himself in so much better shape. Don't forget that month that he had that month where he didn't touch a basketball. All he did was calisthenics. He was eating right, changed his diet, and he dropped some weight to get himself in better shape. And I think he did that for the Eurobasket tournament. Once he's now in the tournament, he looks a lot sharper. And Tone, to your point about the Lakers, I mean, we're talking about a first-class organization who knows how to manage guys. And they know for a fact that if Luka being in this kind of shape that he's in, they're not going to run him into the ground. No, they're going to do everything.
You don't think JJ played my starters for the entire second half in a playoff game understands? You think he understands not to run him into the ground?
I do think he understands that. And the reason why I think he understands that, Tony, is because we got different personnel this season. He would rather play that starting five than put Jackson Hayes in the game for 30 minutes. He would rather play that starting five than go with Max Kleber. He would rather play that starting five than go with the unit that he had. So now he actually has a rotation that's going to work. He's got better wing defenders. He's got Luka, who's in better shape, right? In addition to Luka being in better shape, James sees this. And with James seeing this, now James is going to be as sharp as James can possibly be. DeAndre Ayton is in the contract year. So with DeAndre Ayton being in the contract year, he's going to be super sharp. This team, with the different personnel, I think they manage Luka a lot differently. I don't think Luka's going to be one of those guys, to your point, who'll start off early and then flame out later on. I don't think he's going to be one of those guys because I don't think, one, he's going to be playing 48-minute or 40-plus minutes or 37-plus minutes a night. I think that they're going to do a good job in managing his minutes and managing him just like they do James. So they'll have him at the stretch run. So by the time we get to the All-Star break, he's still in great shape and he's still relatively healthy.
I hope you're right. Because like I said, I always like people, my team, peaking at the right time. And he's coming on a high. So I'm actually okay if he everyone's going to get on him. I'm actually okay if after the first couple of weeks that there's a lull. So maybe like you said, maybe it's reduced minutes or reduced role, and people are like, oh, what's wrong with Luka? He's slumping. I'm okay. I don't want you picking up until, like I said, January, and then hit that All-Star weekend, have that break, or he's going to be playing probably, so that's he'll be there for All-Star weekend. But then I want you getting ready at the end of the season. That's when I want this Luka that we're getting in Euro basketball to make a return. So I'm just telling everybody right now, Laker fans like myself, or just fans of Luka, don't be surprised. Be happy if there's a slump in the middle than if he starts out hot and stays hot, because it's just not sustainable to do it the entire time.
Well, you don't want to. The last thing you want to see with Luka is you want to see him going this way as we get to February.
That's what I don't. That's what I
don't. You're not going to. I don't think that you're going to see that, because I think that the Lakers are going to do a good job in managing his minutes and managing the time and managing him physically to make. And I don't think that this is college, Tone, where when you were home, you were eating good, you were on a regimen. Well, you get to school and okay, we're eating cafeteria food, we eat McDonald's. That's not going on with Luka now that he's back in Los Angeles. He's still going to be on that same regimen.
Listen, it's one thing to get in shape, and that's great. Yep. Okay, but this. There's one thing to kind of, and I know this. Like, I used to be over 300 pounds. It's one thing to lose the weight and get in shape. It's another thing to have that endurance. Does he does he have that endurance yet to go? How many games are they playing in EuroLeague? 20?
Yes, I think they played 8 at this point.
Yeah,
I think they played 8.
So say 20 games, 80 games in the regular season. Now, is he going to play all 80? Depends on how focused he is on what he wants to achieve this year. I'm sure I'm sure this Luka wants all NBA, be in that MVP conversation, win a bunch of 100%, and all of those are great things that he should do. However, after 100 games, I know, and yes, you're going to say I'm spoiled as a Luka fan, what matters, and that's the Lakers winning a championship.
Right.
So I don't want tired 100-game Luka, right? I want fresh, whether it's 100-game, 80-game, I don't care, fresh Luka at his at his best for the playoffs.
Well, two things, Tone. Number one,
yes, I'm greedy. Yes, I'm selfish. Yes, that's all I care about.
When it comes to the Lakers, when it comes to the Lakers, that's 100% how you are. I get that. So when you're dealing with Luka in this year in this particular setting, so number one, Tone, I do have to play basketball on some level in the offseason. That's number one.
100%.
Okay, I do have to do that. With me doing that, I feel like this level of competition is really going to help me. Slovenia is not going to the Eurobasket Championship. They are not that good. Luka has been really good, but they are not that good. So there's going to, and I think training camp opens for the Lakers, I want to say on the 23rd of September. So there's going to be a gap once they get bounced out of this tournament. There's going to be a gap. So Luka's probably still going to be getting up shots, still on his workout regimen, but not to the extent like he was over the summer where he was going hard as hell. No, I don't think it's going to look like that. I just think it's going to look a little bit different than that. And I think that he's going to be ready by the time training camp opens up. I think that if I look at Luka today, I think he's lost easily 15 pounds. No question about that.
He like I said, he looks fantastic. He is putting himself in a position. But again, the question was, is it important to play Euro? And I think it's, from a personal standpoint, it might be important. I don't think it is important that he plays in the summer.
Yeah.
He has to play. Of course, he needs to do stuff.
And Tone, don't concern yourself with the dude Zob. And the reason why I don't concern yourself with him, he's coming to my live before because he's trolled about me not watching games, and then he's coming to my live and then said, Chill, I'm just trolling, and that.
Oh, as you know, I don't care about anybody.
Yeah,
so,
that's what he's done. So I mean,
listen, if y'all don't like it, openly leave. We're here to talk about crazy conspiracies, sports, mostly NBA, and have some fun. And if I say anyone who thinks this is a moron, well, look in the mirror. Then if you take it personal, then that's on you. Anyone who thinks Jordan was ducking Hakeem, who had no business being in the finals, you're a moron. I stand by
the
that.
Bulls weren't the Rockets' issue, and I already made a post about this. The Bulls
did you?
Were not the Rockets. Yeah, the Bulls were not the Rockets' issue. It was the Seattle Supersonics who were the Rockets' issue.
Right. Oh, that's
Seattle,
right.
I already dealt with this. It wasn't Jordan in the Bulls. Because I actually think that they would have beat the Bulls. Either 94 or 95. I think they would have beat them in one of those years. Definitely in 95. Without Horace Grant, I definitely think that they would have smoked them. No doubt about that. But that was a bigger they had bigger problems. They had to get out of the West, and they couldn't get past Seattle. That was the problem.
And the only reason they did that was because Seattle got surprisingly knocked out.
Bounced in round 1 in 94. Bounced in round 2 in 94. Bounced in round 1 in 95. Coincidentally, they see them in 1996 after they won the NBA championship. They see the Rockets swept out of the playoffs, 4 straight. Bye.
Sometimes it's just matchups. We talk about this all the time in football. Like, remember, it doesn't matter how bad Arizona is. They go up to Seattle, and it's their only loss of the season at home.
That shit used to boil my blood, Tone. That used to make me nuts because we could never win up there. We'd go up there and get stomped. Arizona come in there and smoking the Legion of Boom.
Yeah,
smoking these dudes.
They're like 2-14. You're like, how the hell?
What the hell is going on? Why can't we go up there and win? Meanwhile, Arizona coming in here and dicing these dudes up. I'm like, man, this is nuts.
Oh man, listen, we're supposed to talk CP3, but I'm gonna deviate. I'm gonna deviate from our norm. Bob is obsessed with telling me why Jordan could score 45 a night. So Bob, that link's for you. So jump on and tell us why Jordan could, because I say he couldn't score 45 a night. But let's start the conversation while we wait for Bob, just in case he doesn't pop on quickly. So every time I hear, oh damn, he was quick. All right, I'm gonna save it. All right, tell me.
Hey guys, I'm sorry, I'm just walking into my house. I know. But how y'all guys doing? Good evening. It's Cowboy Bob.
Doing good, brother. Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna make it quick because I know how you are, Fluent. You just want the facts. So MJ in this league, if you look at how the league is on the average, is 100 possessions per team last season. MJ can shoot, huh?
98.
Oh, 98? Okay, because I got the average at 100. So, okay.
98.
You could even do 98. Okay, MJ can shoot 9 shots per quarters, right? And let's say he goes 4 for 9. That's pretty much like 36% of the offense. He's going to be shooting about 44% from the field goal. 3-point attempts, I'm not really going to include because when they moved the 3-point line in for Jordan, I think he shot 35%. It wasn't that good. And then they extended it again. We all know he makes most of his money in the mid-range. So the 3-pointers, I'm not really going to count. But if he's doing 9 shots a quarter and he's doing that many shots, that's basically him going. Let me see what I got here. He's basically going to go.
That's 30.
He's going to
That's
have 12 shots. Huh?
That's 32 points.
Yeah, that's 32 points. And then now when you look at the fouls, I'm going to say that he's probably going to get about 3 fouls a quarter because of the attempts that he's doing. So he's probably, about 3 fouls a quarter, which is 12. Because what he did before, you're shaking your head, but when he was in the league, he was doing 10 free throws a game. So I'm just giving him 2 more. I don't know why people are not understanding that. So when you look at that as well as his free throws, he could probably go 9 for 12, which is 75%. He's probably going to go, like what you said, 32 points, 9 for 12. That right there.
That's 41. You're still off by 4 a night.
I understand.
I'll tell you why those things are wrong first, but that's still only 42 a night.
Okay, I understand that, but that's not incorporating the
41 a night.
41 a night.
Keep going,
that's
Bob.
not
Keep
including
going,
the 3-point shot, and that's not even including how he's only doing 36% of the actual offense for his team. Now, if you look at Jalen Brunson last year, I know everyone's going to hate this, was 40% of the Knicks offense last year. If you look that up.
As a scorer or overall? As a scorer or overall?
So what I'm saying is based off of what I just gave you, that's MJ being 36% of the offense. So basically he would have to shoot 1 or 2 more shots to be at 40 to 44% of the offense, which is insane. Don't get me wrong. It's insane. But what I just gave you, if you incorporate at least 1 or 2 3-pointers, plus also he's probably going to go from 9 shots a quarter to probably 11 because if he's getting fouled, that doesn't count as a field goal attempt.
That's 44 shots a game.
I know, but I'm giving you a breakdown because wait, hold on. I'm not done.
Let him finish.
Because real quick, let me finish. The reason why made me actually think about this, because I know everyone's going to jump out the window and say I'm wrong, but if you look at the numbers, the reason why I say this is because when Melo was with the Knicks, he was taking 7 shots a quarter, and that's exactly what Jordan told him. Jordan was like, yo, you could score 30 off of 7 shots a quarter. All I'm asking Jordan to do is shoot probably 4, maybe 5 more shots, which I think he's a better scorer. But remember, I'm not incorporating the 3-point shot. I'm talking about he can average anywhere from 38 to 41 points in his mid-range. That's what I see him doing. Now, him shooting 45.
You're asking, so pause there for a second. You're asking Michael Jordan in a slower paced era than the one that 27.8 per game to take 10 to 15 more shots per game than he did in a faster paced era with more scorers next to him, better shooters next to him than he did at his absolute peak, and still keep and get more free throws than he's ever had in his life. That's what you're asking to do.
No, it's only with the floor spacing. It's only 2 to 3 more free throws that he's getting. 1 and 2. There's only probably about
more
14
he's ever had, and you're asking to take 10 more shots per game.
10 more shots per game. It breaks when you break it down.
That he ever did in a faster paced era.
What I'm simply saying, it's a possibility because of the 4 players I see him.
It's possible we landed on the moon too, but it's not.
Here we go. See, this is what I'm saying. Y'all are not understanding. If you look,
I'm trying to understand where you come. Okay, Bob. Okay, first of all, okay,
I knew
Bob.
this was gonna happen. Everybody gonna laugh. Go ahead.
No, Bob. Here's where you're losing me. Number one, just on average, you said that he's going to take 9 shots a quarter. Like, we ain't talking about the other stuff. Just 9 shots a quarter. First of all, Jordan did not tell Carmelo Anthony to take 7 shots a quarter. He said 7 points a quarter. That's what he said. It wasn't 7 shots.
20 whatever or something.
Yes, it was 7 points. That's number one. Number two, do you realize that in 2024-25, this free throw percent, the free throw attempts that we've shot, it's the lowest that it's been in years. So now what you're going to do is you're going to have Jordan shooting way more free throws, even though SGA led the league in free throw attempts at 8 a game. At 8, that's it. That means that's 4.5.
From the year that I used, where Jordan shot 27, the most free throws, that we've gone down by 10 per game on a team average. We went from 30 to 20 a game. And the other, let me just quickly say, you had said 44 shots with the fouls because some of them aren't going to count as attempts because he gets fouled. 44 shot attempts, it would be 50% of the average shot attempts by a team today. You think in today's NBA, they're going to allow, even if it is Michael Jordan, you're going to allow one man to take 50% of the shots?
So
what I was talking,
wait a minute, Bob, because I want to stay where you are. Because I don't want to. I want to stay where you are. Everything that you just said, like you just talked about the 9 shots a quarter, when you're talking about getting to the free throw line, you do understand that I'm going to have to play a lot of minutes to do this. How many minutes is Jordan playing the game?
I think he's 36, if I'm not mistaken.
This dude is averaging 45 a game, between 38 and 41 a game in 36 minutes. He's doing that.
What I'm talking about is based off of what I was putting together was this. The reason why I say that was just him off of scoring. Because if you actually put into aspects, which just buckets. Because here's the thing, let's be real. You guys are right, because let's see what the position that anybody who has the ball most of the time, it's a point guard. Jordan's not a point guard. And especially in this day and league, the way that they set up the defense, he's not going to be able to. That's why I said I could only see him doing it maybe on 2 to 3 teams, which is probably Atlanta, because Trae Young is high with controlling the ball, and he could also score as far as his assists. Halliburton with the Pacers, and maybe I want to say maybe Toronto, but because of quickly. But I'm not saying he can do it. But if you break it down into these small aspects, and it's not just Jordan or anything, I'm just saying he takes 9 shots a quarter. He can average 36% of the offense as opposed to 40% with a guy like Brunson. He can actually get 41 points, and this is not including the 3-point shot. That's all I was saying. I'm not saying, because there's a lot of things that Jordan did that most people went against. Jordan couldn't deal with his handles in college. They said Jordan couldn't have any handles. What did he do? He improved his handles. Jordan couldn't do this. Jordan couldn't do that. So in that mist, what I'm saying, based off of what everyone around me has talked about how great Jordan is, this is how I look at how he can score 40 to 45 points. I'm not saying it's possible, but with what I gathered and researched, to me, I think 9 shots when your team is doing 25 possessions a quarter or so, 22 to 25 possessions or so, that's not that hard, because if you think about it, 9, and then there's 9, there's like 16 to 17 more shots your team can get. I'm saying it's possible within the right scheme.
Let me give you one more. Let me give you one more piece, just because I look at it when I talk about hypotheticals. Right? It's obviously a hypothetical. The only way I think to do it, and listen, I'm not saying I'm right, but the only way I can see to do it is I take the math, and I take what's real, and I say, okay, here's what's real, and I put it into this hypothetical, and I say, is it possible? So to your point, you said 36 minutes is what he would play. So in 36 minutes, based on what the teams are taking on average field goal attempts per game, in 36 minutes, a team would average 66.75 field goal attempts per game. For him to get to that number that you said, he would have to take, like you said, because of fouls and those things, he would have to take 44. So, so on the 36 minutes that he is on the team, he's going to take 44 of 66 shots that the team takes. And I can't see that ever happening. And what I used was, I said, look, for him to get 45, because that was the point, was for him to get 45, the simple math, and there's way more that we can go into it, but the simple math is he'd have to take 30 shots a game. 10 of them would have to be threes, which he's never done either one. He's never shot 30 times a game. He's never done 10 threes a game. And he would have to shoot 15 free throws per game, which he's also never done. So he'd have to take more field goal attempts, more threes, and more free throws than he's ever taken in his life. And like we said, he played a number of years in a faster pace than today with worse teammates who didn't ask for the ball. And on those 30, 10, and 15 shots, he'd have to shoot 50, 40, 90, which is something he's never done in his career. Like, yeah, there were times where he went over 50%, but he's never gone over 90 in free throws, and he's never shot over 40%. Never done all 3 even close in one single season. So he would literally have to do 6 things that he's never done before in his life, as great as he is with the open NBA that it is, and all this stuff that everyone says about the defense and all that, which all true, but to do 6 things that you've never done before with better teammates around you who would need to get shots too.
Simultaneously, by the way, too.
What?
6 things. The 6 things that you're talking about. The 6 things that you talk about, Tone. He's got to do all 6 of those things simultaneously. It's not like he's doing one of those things.
Yes.
It's not like he's doing one of those things this year and then another one.
He's got to average that for 82 games because he's going to want to play every game for 82 games. And if his minutes are 36 to 38, which is lower than the 40 he did when he shot 27 a game.
I know, but if you also look at it too, though, there's a difference between that. Jordan also had gotten double teamed throughout his career. 99% of the time, he's getting through double teams. In this day and age, in the half-court system, if you have him with the point guard, like I said, a Trae Young, a Halliburton, where the ball isn't in his hands, plus we didn't even account for any type of defensive plays that Jordan can get on a fast break as well as his steals. This is what I'm also putting into account. I may not have mentioned it, but again, no double teams. He's not bringing the ball up like he did in 88. He's not doing like the magic that Jordan is. There's a lot of things that he's not taking into account. You're just getting him off of backdoor cuts, screen, pick and rolls to where we all know Jordan can actually do it. Now, that's what I'm saying. You're lightening the load also with the defense.
Sorry to interrupt you. Who's the point guard that's going to bring up the ball and not shoot and just give it to Jordan on slashing and backdoor?
It's definitely not Trae Young. It's definitely not Trae Young.
You mentioned the lineup.
Definitely not.
Okay.
So you say it's not Halliburton either.
So Halliburton won't do it? I also said Halliburton.
It's not
Halliburton isn't going to get into. Okay, so then
the reason why it's not Halliburton is because Halliburton is going to get other people involved too. Halliburton is not just going to get Jordan involved, and I think that you're discounting, Bob, when you talk about 9 shots a quarter in a 12-minute quarter, 9 shots. That means almost every other trip. No, that's 3 to 4 possessions. That's between 3 to 4 possessions. He's shooting 1 shot. Okay, so with him
sorry, Jay, use the field goal attempts. 66 field goal attempts in those 36 minutes. He's taking 44.
66. Whoa.
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about
team.
As a team. Okay. I thought you were talking about MJ. I was about to say
no. Not 44. So he's taking 2 of every 3. Exactly. 2 of every 3 shots are his.
He's taking 2 of every 3 shots. And on top of that, to your point, when you talk about these 9 field goals, that means that this dude is playing almost the whole quarter of every game.
Yeah,
that's not.
Also, he's going to be spending anywhere between. He's going to be doing anywhere from 8 to 9 minutes. Man, I see what you guys are saying. Look,
I think Jordan would do today. What he did in the past. I think he's anywhere between 31 to 30 to 33 a game. I think he can. And when he's at his best, I think he can give me between 35 and 37.
Oh,
that's 45 a game. No,
there's going to be stretches where he's dropping 50 a night. It's just not over 82. Yeah,
okay,
not over. We've seen that.
But also, though,
do that. We've seen James Harden do that.
One more thing about the defense, because people say it's more open because the 3 seconds and that type of thing. Yes, but at the same time, everyone's going to be hedging, right? Like if you see a guy shooting that much, they're going to hedge. So the second he makes that first move, there's going to be a trap. There's going to be a double team. There's going to be I actually think he probably ends up with more assists in terms of the assist jump from 5 to 7 or 8 versus the scoring jumping to 40, 45. I think the scoring stays like I said, mid 30s, low 30s, but it's the assists that you see pop up more than anything, because when they people don't give him enough credit for what a good passer he was because they have a narrative.
Yeah.
But you're going to see his assists go up. I don't think, I just don't see any math where he's scoring 45.
When looking at when I also bring into account with the fouls, I'm talking about you got landing fouls, you got spacing. There's a lot of things that I think that Jordan can pull off because he's smart to where he can go ahead and get these calls. Again, like I said, case debunked. You guys see it probably 36, maybe 38. I thought that if you look at it, basically breaking it down as simple as 9 shots a game with the way that SGA can go ahead and get those fouls with the landing fouls and all of that, and how the defense is opened up. Him not having the ball, he can pull it off.
Shea gets 8 a game. We want him to get double that. Like,
no, wait, hold on. Shea got 8 a game last season, but if you look at before then, Shea and Luka were both in 10 and 11 attempts a game. When Luka was on the Mavs, he was getting 10 free throws, and I remember even seeing at some point the top 3 guys that were in free throws.
Getting 10 or 11. So
Yeah.
he's going to shoot the ball, 20 more times than them and get fouled 5 more times than them. Right? It just there are players. If you told me a player shot 20 field goal attempts and got 5 free throw attempts a game, that's a player. So he's doing a whole nother player more than everybody else. It's a lot.
Okay. No. You guys are right.
I can't make the math.
No. I was trying. That's the rationality based off of the Jordan hype. I'm glad you guys broke it down. But to me, I honestly think that, again, he's not going to be able to score 45. You guys just proved that. But there is a system to where I think that he can get 38 to 41 with these. Because, again, we're not including the 3-point shot. We're not also including anything else as far as him with the fouls. But you guys debunked it. Like I said, I gave my shot. You guys proved me wrong, and I thank you. This is why I love y'all guys. And one more thing. Go New York, go New York, go. We're going to the finals, baby. Brunson going to be top 5 MVP. Let's go. Y'all have a good one. Thanks, man.
Appreciate you, Bob. See, this is why I like guys like Bob. You can come in, you can disagree, we can have a conversation. We both respect each other's points. I respected what he said. He respected what I said. And we move on and we're cool. Like, everybody seems so sensitive. All right. How you doing for time?
I got a couple more minutes. Yeah, we're good.
All right. So back to Boogie. Boogie says, every time I hear a top 5 all-time point guards list, Chris Paul is in it. And I'm not sure why.
I'm not sure why neither.
Is Chris Paul a fraud point guard?
No, he's not a fraud point guard. I just don't think he's a top 5 point guard. I mean, let's be clear about a fraud point guard as opposed to a top 5 point guard.
Is he a fraud top 5 point guard?
Yes, I don't think he's one of the 5 best league guards to ever play in the NBA. No, I don't think he was that good. I do think that he was awesome as a league guard. I do think his ability to score was something that we hadn't seen in a long time, but we have seen league guards who could score at a high rate. 100%. Him as a defender, we've seen league guards at that size that were able to defend also. But the idea of being a top 5 league guard of all time, I mean, we had stretches where Chris Paul wasn't even making, and this is in his prime, by the way, where Chris Paul wasn't making the all-pro team. That was going on. Not making first team or second team. He wasn't making the all-pro team. And we got 3 all-pro teams. That was going on. And you were telling me that he was the best leader in the game, which I got no problem with you being the best leader in the game, but being the best point guard in the game isn't the same thing as being the best leader in the game. So when we have stretches, Tone, from let's say 2015 to 2020, how many years can we say definitively, like, was Chris Paul ever better? I mean, was Russell Westbrook ever better than Chris Paul? Was Damian Lillard ever better than Chris Paul? Was Steph Curry ever better than Chris Paul? Right? Were these guys ever better than Chris Paul? I think that there were years where they were better. Right?
Well,
I do think that there were years where they were better.
We get into the better discussion, right? Because better versus greater. And when we're talking about top whatever lists, it's typically who had the greater career, right? Because here, let me give you an example. And I love picking on these 2 guys, so I'll do that. Who's the better player? Tracy McGrady or Vince Carter?
The better player.
The better player.
I think it's Tracy McGrady.
I think everyone would agree that Tracy McGrady is the better player. But who had the greater career? Here's Vince 2. So no ring culture, right? You don't have to worry about rings because neither one of them has them. But if you look at who had the greater career, it was Vince. But I think we all agree Tracy's the better player. So when you talk about a guy like Chris Paul, like when we say better, I'm going to say, well, what we're really saying on these lists is who had a greater career. And I'm just going to run down some names. And listen, some of them you don't feel are point guards, but for the masses,
they are.
They are. So tell me who he had a greater career than. Magic?
No.
Steph?
Nope.
Oscar?
Nope.
West?
Nope.
Isaiah?
Nope.
Stockton?
Nope.
Jason Kidd?
Nope.
Steve Nash?
Nope.
Walt Frazier?
Nope.
Gary Payton?
Nope.
Kuzi?
Nope.
Russell Westbrook? I think
Nope.
that's when you have the conversation. But I think that's when you have the conversation. So even if you disagree with some of those, there's at least 5 that I don't think are that everyone will struggle with. And like I said, we'll get into an argument over Steph Curry. You'll get into an argument over Jerry West, kind of where they are. And I didn't, and there's others that I missed, but I just, there's just some. So it's just like, I think, and for me, it's easy. I say, well, Chris Paul's active, so he's not on my list because I don't put active players on my list. But when his time is done, right, you're gonna have a guy who played 20 years, was a beast on offense, a beast on defense, not being top 5 in point guard. Does that mean that he's bad? No, it just means that
it doesn't mean that.
Right, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that there isn't players that he's better than. Doesn't mean that either. But when we're looking at their careers, you're going to include playoffs. And unfortunately, players get injured. So you're going to look at injuries and when very untimely injuries that he had. So like he's had some great runs and he's had some bad luck as well. So
I definitely think that's an issue. I think the luck thing was definitely an issue for him. Him breaking his hand in 17 when they lost to the Warriors. I think that was an issue. I think the hamstring in 18 when he played with Houston in Game 6. That was definitely he's definitely had some unfortunate luck. So
last item is an interesting one, and you don't have to read all that, but basically the gist is we have a EuroLeague coach who says NBA teams would struggle to beat EuroLeague teams without their star players. Now, some ask why take out the stars? Well, because those stars are exceptional. But look at the evidence. In the last World Cup, the U.S. didn't bring their top-tier stars and couldn't even medal. So basically what he's saying is if you take away the elite player, the upper echelon player, if you take away the Steph Currys, which is ridiculous because they're there, why would you get rid of them? But if you take away the Stephs, the LeBrons, the Tatums, an NBA roster without the best player would struggle to beat a EuroLeague roster.
My question to you, Tone, is if we're doing that with the NBA rosters,
they got to take away their best player too,
right? So, is Serbia making the Olympics without Joker? Right? Is Serbia? Are they on the Olympic team? Are they making the Olympics without Joker? Is Greece making the Olympics without Giannis? Is that going on?
No,
I don't think that they're making. I don't think that they're making. I don't think they're qualifying for the Olympics without Giannis. If we're doing that, I mean, is Germany making the Olympics without France and Schroeder? I mean, what you can't do is you can't take my stars and then keep your stars. In fact, you did that in the 80s where you were using pros and we were using college kids. But then what we did was we evened the playing field. And then now it just went the other way. And it was clear that there was a divide between the two countries. I mean, between America and the rest of the world. It was clear that there was a divide there. So no, I'm not trying to hear that. Absolutely not. Nope.
It's like me saying, pick any team. Pick any team. Just randomly pick any.
Minnesota.
Okay. Pick another team.
The Trailblazers.
Awesome. Portland smokes the Timberwolves if you take Ant off the team.
They smoked them.
So who cares?
They smoked them, Tone.
They do. Yeah. And it's just like, so that's the part that drives me nuts. It also drives me nuts when people say, oh, the world has caught up. And I keep telling you, the world hasn't caught up. Okay. The US makes mistakes building their rosters. They make mistakes not taking it seriously. They make mistakes just bringing people together and saying, okay, go play. But when it comes to the talent, there isn't a country in the world that has more than 2 players that could even make it Team USA, which means Team USA, right? And everyone always, well, look at the last guys who've won MVP, like Giannis, Joker, Luka. Yep. What happens after that? Where's the talent after those guys? Wemby, whoever those 4 or 5 guys are, the second you try to go deep past the second person, you're not making.
Trae Young is starting on that Greek team. Just so you guys are clear, Trae Young starts on that Greek team.
Trae Young, who's his backup? He's starting on that team. Dyson Daniels. He's starting on Greece, right? Like Thanasis plays on the Greek team,
and he's heavy in the rotation too. By the way, Tony.
And how many minutes is he getting in the NBA?
He doesn't play. In fact, he just got re-signed back to.
Well, he got re-signed as you know why?
Yes, absolutely. I know why. And with that being said, I think that we have to emphasize, not just take Ant off the crew, Tone, because he said without their stars. So we're not just taking one guy off the crew, Tone. We're taking the stars off. So to your point, if the Trailblazers play Minnesota, we're taking off Ant and Rudy Gobert. Both of them dudes off the crew.
Bronny starts on the Greek team. Bronny starts on the Greek team.
He's starting for that Greek team. And this is a dude. And by the way, just so you know, JE, this dude is from Greece.
Yeah,
this is a Greek dude right here.
I will take Dyson Daniels and Bronny on my team right now.
This is a dude from Greece, and he'll tell you.
You put them with Giannis and Thanasi, we're looking good.
You like your chances a lot better.
A lot.
Two dudes. Yes.
Oh, it's just when I see stuff like that, it's like, and I'm not picking on them. But it's when I hear like WNBA fans or players or teams say, "Oh, we could beat." No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't beat the Charlotte Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets would smoke you. Okay, South Carolina that had a sub 500 record last year, college team could beat the Aces, the Las Vegas Aces.
Well, here's the thing that I'm having an issue with, Tone.
It drives me nuts when they say ridiculous things.
And you've said it before, which I came up with this idea, and I'm thinking to myself, did we overrate the Europeans? And the reason why I'm asking that, Tone, is because Luka, Giannis, Joker, like these guys are the anomaly. Like after them, who else is it?
I think because of them, all of us. So maybe, but I still didn't get.
Think everybody's that good, and they're not.
I think there's a bit of a, and it doesn't mean that they're bad. Let's be very clear. Overrated doesn't mean bad, but yes, I think we're overrating the rest. Not just Europeans, we're overrating the rest of the world because we see these guys that stand out. Right, like I said, you see Giannis and when healthy, Embiid and Jokic and Antetokounmpo, or I said Giannis already. Sorry, Joker, Luka. Right, you see these 5-6 guys, and you're like, oh, but it's like no, these are 5-6 guys out of how many? Like, it's the exception to the rule that, and we don't fall for the exception to the rule.
I will not. No, I will not. Like Green said about Lauri Markkanen, I'm thinking to myself, okay, Tone, are there 25 players in the game better than Lauri Markkanen? 25 players in the game better than Lauri Markkanen?
Yeah.
Are there 30 players in the game better than Lauri Markkanen?
Yes.
I think so. I 100% believe that. So when you talking about these Euros, Luka, Joker, Giannis, Wemby,
it's top heavy. Right. You got 4 of the top 10, and then it gets iffy after that.
Then after that, it gets real tricky.
Yeah.
It gets real tricky.
I'm gonna ask you to tell me. We still have time till the season starts, so we're gonna do this a more deeper dive. But I want you to pick one team from the East. I don't know if you can see that or not.
I can see it. Yep.
Okay. Biggest fraud in the East. This is last year's standings. This year, of the teams that everyone is speaking highly of, so obviously not Charlotte, right? Who is the biggest fraud on this list of teams?
I got people telling me Indiana's going to make the playoffs, and I think Indiana's going to be garbage this year. I think that they're going to be absolute. I think that they're going to be right where you see Toronto, Brooklyn, Philly, and Charlotte. I think that's where Indiana's going to be. There is no team that I've seen when you lose your starting lead guard, who is responsible for almost everybody's offense, and you lose your stretch 5, and then you're telling me that you're coming back next season and you're going to be just as good or right around this space right here, like 7, 8, 9 playing team. No, you're not. You are not as good as these guys.
I want to do this when we get the power rankings because I want to
Mhm.
see where people are ranking these guys, and then I think I can do this better because I think people you're picking Cleveland to make it to the NBA final. I don't think they're even the number 1 seed. Everybody says Boston's not going to be great, so I could see that.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people are expecting New York to be good, but take a step back with a new coach, new system, right? They're going to take some time putting their feet to. I think a lot of people are saying Indiana, and I think Indiana, is when we say playoffs now, play in, right? They're in the
Mhm.
top 10. Milwaukee, a lot of people are telling me they're going to be bad. I think they're going to surprise people. They're going to be better than you think.
Yep.
Detroit, I think, is better than the 6th seed. I think they're a top 4 seed. Orlando, I think, is going to be better. Atlanta, I think, is going to be better. And then and here's the thing. So now when I get into these teams, I'm like, well, Chicago's not going to be great. Miami's going to probably surprise people. Toronto's going to be horrible. Brooklyn's going to be Philadelphia might be better than expected, but still And then Charlotte's going to stink. So it's like there's no team that really stands out that's like, they're in a top 6, but they're not going to be in the top 6. Then the ones
I got an envelope.
and the ones we already
If you gave me an envelope, Tone, and said, here goes some money, Chill, and I need you to buy some stock in the Philadelphia 76ers with this bread, I would push that envelope right back to you. After what you said to me last season, and after that I bought that stock with them, I'm out on Philly. I am OUT out on Philly. Does Philly make the playoffs? I don't know. But I'm out on any stock that's in Philadelphia. I'm out. 100% I'm out.
I'm going to tell you, Philly's going to be better this year than they were last year.
They may be. They may very well be better, but all of this is contingent on one guy and one guy only. And it ain't Paul George. And it ain't Tyrese, and it ain't Tyrese Maxey. It's one guy, and that guy is made of glass. That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
I think he's going to struggle. Okay, so let's go to the. Oh, it pulled it up. Oh, my bad. I didn't know I was still on the screen. All right, so let's go to the West then. Fraud alert. What team do you feel is highly ranked that will not get it done?
I got Golden State missing the playoffs, Tom. Yes, I do. I got Golden State missing the playoffs this year.
Really?
Yes, I do. I got Golden State missing the playoffs. I got Memphis missing the playoffs too. So this 7, 8, 9, move them down. Move up the Trailblazers, move up San Antonio, and move Dallas up. I think those 3 teams jump those 3 teams.
The Trailblazers, I've already told you right where they are this year that they're not winning any more games than that next year. I have the bet already out there. Okay, of the teams that are supposed to be good, OKC, Houston. Houston's not going to be good as you think. Houston won't be the 2 seed this year.
I got them as the 3 seed. I got Denver as the 2 seed.
If that's a hot take. They're still going to be a top team, but they're not going to be 2 seed. Lakers, Denver, Clippers. Man, can the Clippers be bad with everything they've done in the offseason?
They can't be, Tone. But it's the Clippers. Here's the difference, though, Tone. It's the Buffalo I was about to call them the Bills. I'm sorry. It's the Buffalo Braves. That's exactly who they are. So if anybody could do it, they could do it. 100% they could do it. Yes, they could be bad. That could absolutely happen with them. Yes, it could. 100% could happen.
I think Sacramento's not going to be good. Dallas, I think Dallas is going to move up for sure, and they knock Sacramento out. I think, Portland, no, and San Antonio moves up. But I think everybody, again, let's. I'm going to wait till the power rankings come out because I'm looking at this and I'm thinking there's no one that I think is highly rated, because even Portland that you say is what, the play-in team.
I think that they play their way into the playoffs. Yes, okay. I think they're playing team.
Playoff or play in?
I think that they're play-in team. But closer to 7, 8 than 9, 10.
Okay.
I think they're going to be a lot better.
Fine. All right. Bob wants to take one more shot. What about 5 made shots with 2 free throws per quarter?
5 made shots. And
5 made shots would mean at his career average of 50% that he's taking 10 a quarter. So unless you think he's going to make 75% of his shots, Just think about first career is 50%. Okay, now because don't forget he's going to take more threes, right? And threes, even at 40%, will bring his average down. So even if he shoots 55% from 2 and 40%, that's gonna average out to 50. So at 50%, 5 made shots means 10 shots a quarter plus 2, 4, 6, 8 free throws made. So that means he's taking 10. Okay, that's realistic. Those 8 points are realistic.
5 made shots a quarter. That's 10. That's between 10 and 15 points a quarter on average.
Yeah.
He's not doing that, Tone. No. On a Tuesday, by the way.
If they're all threes, that's 68 points a game. So yeah, there you go. You got
which, by the way, this is the same dude who I said this to you a couple of days ago, Tone, when I saw you on the panel. This is the same dude who knocked down 6 threes in an NBA Finals game and told us, don't get used to that because that's not my game. No.
Okay.
Do not get used to that.
He said not including threes. So, okay. So not including threes, 5 made shots a quarter is 10, 20, 30, 40. That's 48 points with your math. But again, that's 10 shots a quarter, which is just insane. And look, so that what you just gave, let me give the example. That number you just gave, Bob, is 48 points. So let's go 2 more points to 50 because that's only half a point per quarter, 1 more point a half. Okay, that can be done. So 50 points a game. One guy did it. To get to 50 points per game, Wilt Chamberlain had to shoot 50 field goal attempts per game, 12 free throw attempts per game, and play 48.5 minutes per game to get to 50.
He had to play every minute of every game.
I'm trying. I know you're trying. And listen, I would love to find a way. I have Jordan as the GOAT. I would love to say, yes, he would average 45 points a game. He's the GOAT.
Yes.
But I got to be realistic, right? Like I tell everybody, whether you call me a glazer and a hater and all this stuff, I tell you I am real. I don't deny Magic's my favorite player. I don't deny Tragic Magic. Kobe's my second favorite player. I tell you about his flaws. James Worthy is my third favorite player. My favorite players mean nothing. We have to look at reality. Jordan and LeBron, you guys think I love Jordan and I hate LeBron. Neither one of them is in my top 10 favorite players of all time, but I have them 1, 2. And if he tells me that LeBron is 1, I go, cool, because he has a good argument as to why. I'm okay with it. I don't say he stinks. He's 12th, right? Right. My 2 guys, Jordan and LeBron, who aren't in my top 10 of favorite players, are 1, 2 all time for me. I don't even put active players in my top 10 except for LeBron. And I don't think either one of them could score 45 a night.
Tony, you know that year the year that Chamberlain averaged 50, they had a game where Chamberlain had 58 points. He took 48 shots. He played the whole game. They took 129 shots for the game. 129 shots for the game, Tone. That was going on. And he took 48 of them. No, man. No.
I don't see anyone in today's NBA.
No.
In today's NBA being able to do this.
No. Sorry. It's not happening.
Hey, Bob, keep trying, bro. I hope if you find a way, I'll do some math. I'll because like I said, the best math that I could do was that 30, 10, and 15. Right? Because it only makes sense. That was the only thing that made sense in today's NBA is, someone tried to tell me, who was it? Penn. Oh, he's going to hit 60% of his twos. Okay. You know how many he has at 60%?
They had a game where they played the Lakers and the game went into triple overtime. He played every minute of the game, Tony. He played 63 minutes. That's just not, as much as I know you guys, how y'all feel about Jordan, because I was a Jordan stan growing up. I had a ball head. I wanted to be Michael Jordan. And I can appreciate how good his game is. And I saw SGA this season. I saw him go for 50 in 35 minutes. I saw him go for 48 in 37 minutes. To do that on a nightly basis is almost impossible. One, that coach is trying to keep his job. So if you think that he's going to run SGA into the ground, you are sadly mistaken. That is not happening. No, he is not running SGA into the ground. If you think that he's going to have SGA on the floor for 37 or 39, 40 minutes every night, No, it's not happening. No way is that happening. And for Jordan to average that much, it's gonna have to be Tone. He's gonna have to play heavy minutes.
Can let me just, Bob, man, you're my guy. I think 5 made shots is doable. 5 made shots a quarter. Hold on. 5 made shots a quarter is 20 a game. Don't look it up. What is the most made field goals per game that Jordan has ever averaged in his whole career?
The most made field goals?
Yeah, most made field goals.
I think I want to say, I'm not looking this up, Tone. I want to say in 89, because I think that's when he shot his highest field goal percentage in 89. The most field goal average. He shot 54% that year. So I'm gonna guess he probably made like 11 shots a game.
You're right about 89. It wasn't his highest, though. His highest was actually when he shot 48%, and he made 13.4 a game. So you're telling me he's going to make almost 100%. Okay, it's 85%, 75%, 75% more field goals than he's ever made in his career.
He's not doing that, yo. And a lot of people, what they'll try to do is like, yo, you guys are nerds and you're nerdifying the game. These are the numbers.
No, when you're talking hypotheticals, you have to take some reality, right? And do some math, right? Because I was just like, well, he's Jordan, so he'll average 45. But
no.
But let's be real. If the most he ever scored made field goal, and whatever number it is you want to look at, if the most he ever did was 13, for him to get to 20, that's a huge increase.
That's not happening, yo. It's not.
It is an increase of, I want to say 65%.
No.
Yeah, probably 60%. He has to make 60% more. And at 50% field goal percentage, that means he has to take 60% more than he took that year. So 27.8. So you have to, again, the math goes back to 44 shots a game.
So Tone, to exacerbate your point, that means that for every 5 more shots that I'm taking, I got to make 3 of them.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
50%. Now listen, no. SGA made like 57% from 2 last year. So it's not unheard of that he makes, 57, 60% of his 2-point attempts. That's not crazy. It's just the volume in which he'd have to do it that the math don't math. So appreciate the conversation. We'll next week. Hey, you want to do next week? Because again, it's only an hour. Next week, do you want to do straight chat and people jump on? Let them.
We could do that. Yeah, what we'll do for that hour. What we'll do is we'll have a couple of topics for about a half hour, and in the last half hour we'll spend.
Yeah, we let y'all run the show. So next week y'all run the show. Appreciate y'all. Like I said, it's just these 3 weeks that we're gonna go start at 9, and then we'll be back to our normal 8 p.m. time slot. I'm just gonna move. Let's see if I can. Yeah. Oh, did you see your new jersey? I want to know if you like your new jersey.
I didn't notice that. I do.
I gotta tweak it a little. Did you see mine? I don't know if you can see mine. Let me.
Let's see what that looks like. Look like an Orlando or a Charlotte kind of one.
There we go.
Yeah. We got to change that. We got to change that number 44 though. That 44 is a bad luck number.
I thought that was your number.
No, I wore 44. 24 was my number.
But I saw you wearing 44.
I wore 44 at Utah State. I did.
Yeah, that's why I picked it. Okay, you want 24? I could change that easy.
Yeah, I wore 24 at when I was in junior college. That was a better number for me. Yes.
Okay, I'll change it. And do you okay with the colors? You want a different?
That's a dope jersey. Yes, sir. That is a dope jersey. No doubt.
I just learned this.
Uh-oh.
Look at that. Isn't that like where we could talk and just over the background? Look
sir.
And some fellas back there. Look at that.
Check them out. Check these 2 dudes out.
All right. You know what time it is now, right? Do you still remember? It's been a long time.
What time it is? What time is it? Yes, sir. It is that time. Yes, sir. You guys know where to find us at. We are here every Tuesday. This is a condensed show, but we will be back in effect. You know where to find us on the Sports Fluent Network and the Chilltown Hoops Network. Me and my man Tony Tone, aka Fluent. We do this every Tuesday. We will see you guys soon. Until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. When's the last time you talked to your mother? Call your mother. It's good to see you guys. We will talk to you soon. But until then, take it light. Take it.
Check out this new outro.
Fluent Chill, you can call it how it's played from the field to the court. Every legend gets away. Fourth quarter heat, over 2-minute drill. If you can't handle truth, better chill with the skill. LeBron or MJ.